and then young Nathan Drake and his brother Sam, and they're in this place. And basically what I was kind of getting into before I kind of had to talk about non-spoilers was basically with this whole connection between Sam and Nathan Drake just isn't fulfilling enough. And I think, you can do it in the amount of time that they did it. They just didn't use their time wisely. And I guess that's kind of a big complaint with me with this film is that they had everything set up and they had all the pieces in the places they needed to be. They just couldn't execute anything. There's so many scenes that just don't go anywhere, and this was one of them. Like, they get caught and then he just decides to run away for no reason and leaves Nathan Drake behind with, a letter basically, which I thought was kind of silly. And on top of that, it's like, I wish that there was more of a struggle there. With those two characters in the beginning, they get, maybe they're looking in there and then they get caught in something and they have to run away, or they get stuck and they have to break their way out or something like that. And they have to work together, and you actually get to see that chemistry in action, because the whole bond between Nathan and his brother is such an integral part of the film, but it just isn't actually fulfilled at all. To the point where like Nathan's entire character is predicated upon that. But the problem with it is that he just, you just don't feel that connection the way you probably should, that's just my complaint, I guess. That's kind of what I noticed. But, then Nathan basically, cuts to him and he's like a bartender in New York City now. And then, he has like a little dialogue with this girl and pickpockets her bracelet. And another thing, like the pickpocketing in this film is so OP. Like the fact that they could just easily pickpocket each other, like it's so corny, honestly. And I know it just is kind of done as a way to kind of, move the characters into a certain place, but it's just like, ugh. and you see it done like 3 times in like a matter of like 15 minutes. Like you get Nathan stealing the bracelet from the girl. Then you get Sully, who's played by Mark Wahlberg, who shows up and steals the bracelet from him, which then forces Nathan to go meet Sully at his place. Like he gives him his business card. And then, what's her name? Chloe, the girl who they meet up with, who has the other key, she ends up stealing their key, pickpockets it. So it's just like the pickpocketing is like ridiculous. It's just so like silly. I don't know if that's a part of the game or what. I mean, if it's a part of the game, maybe, I guess. I don't know, but it just seems silly to me. And but yeah, not jumping too far ahead, you get the dialogue with him and the girl, and then and I thought that stuff was okay. I mean, Holland's a charming guy, so he can pull it off. And then you get Sully. He shows up in the bar, and it's funny how like. And I guess this is kind of plays into the whole film is like how Nathan Drake knows how to fight. How is he in such, how does he know how to fight? How does he know everything? It's like none of it's earned, because they jump so far in time that like he's an adult and you don't know why he's so good at fighting, how he's so good with a sword, how he's so good with a hand-to-hand combat. It just, he didn't really pull off the whole, like, he either has to be a full-on novice or he has to be an expert. Like, you can't have both. He kind of had the Rey Skywalker syndrome where, like, he just shows up and is good at everything, and there isn't really anything holding that together. You know what I mean? And